Hey guys, it's Katie from heykatie.net, and today I wanted to go through a new notebook that I just bought for bullet journaling, and that is the Scribbles That Matter book. I found this on Amazon. Someone posted about it in the Bullet Journal Junkies group on Facebook, and it made me curious, so I decided to go ahead and buy one. I actually bought two because it looked really cute. So I got one in pink and one in kind of this teal color. And I thought I would go through it with you and we could kind of review it together and see what it's all about. I haven't actually done anything with it yet, so we're going to learn together as to whether this is any good or not. It's supposed to be really quite nice. So we're just going to go through it so we can take a look and see what it's all about. So first thing that you will notice, it's the general A5 size of notebook. It's a nice color, and then all over the cover, it's got some really cute drawings and doodles, and that's front and back. And it's just kind of a fun thing to have around. And something that you will notice is that these drawings are actually kind of engraved into the cover, so there's some texture there. They're not just drawn on or printed, it's actually kind of inside. There's depth to it. It also comes with this contrasting elastic band to keep it closed, which most journals do, and a pen strap, which is a good thing. Some people really like that. I have never really used it because I just kind of, I don't know, I find it weird and I tend to change pens a lot. So for me, it's not as important, but it's good to have a general pen that you can have handy all the time. And with like the Lucturm and Rhodia and the Nuna, they don't really have these. You can buy them, Moleskine, you can buy them, but you have to attach them separately. They don't just come with them. So that's a nice thing to have. So if we open it up, we can take a look inside, and what you'll see on the very first page, there's an actual kind of in case of emergency, here's my details sort of thing. So it says the following scribbles belong to, and you would write your name, and then in case of loss, please, and then you can put your email address or your phone number or whatever way you want them to get a hold of you. And then on the next page, you do have a sort of title page, which I find rather annoying. I don't think there was a need for that. They're branding their notebook, which I get, but you've got the brand right there. Like any other one of these bullet journal notebooks, you wouldn't have a clue which one it is. You might have to ask somebody, hey, is that a Moleskine? Is that a Nuna? Is that a Lucturm? This one, it's branded right there. There's no getting away from it. So this is superfluous. That's a page that should have been given over to the book so that we could use it. So I'm a little frustrated by that. I think that's kind of crap. The next page is kind of cool, the 2 pages. So over here we've got the key page, and this is a way so you can actually write your own key. So there's a bullet code on one side and color code on the other. And this is really handy if you are not a traditional bullet journalist, because with a traditional bullet journal, you'll use bullets, and you've got the solid bullet, the open bullet, and then the square bullets, and those are really handy, and most people can stick to those and have no problem. But a lot of people want to create their own bullet types, and this is a great way to do that. A lot of people have fold-out keys that they attach to their journal, or they have it somewhere else. This is just a nice way of putting it right in the front. And I like that there's a color code as well with these boxes that you can color in and say what they are. For me, like in my Nuna, which I have shown you guys before, I have my calendars color-coded, but they only make sense to me, which is how I like it. I don't necessarily want everyone to know, but this is a good way of doing it. So you could have like birthdays one color, events one color, meetings, doctor's appointments, anything you want, or some other completely different color code. It's completely up to you, obviously. And then over here you have an index page, which every good bullet journal has an index. This one's rather large, but the titles are scribbles of, and then you can put the subject and then page or pages. It's a little bit bigger, and again, it takes up a little too much room for my liking, because indexes I tend to write really small so I can use just one page, and this takes up 3. Which is good for some people, I would imagine. For me, I really like to keep it small. Again, I don't like wasting the paper inside because we go through these things so fast. I would have liked to have seen smaller spacing at least, but having 3 pages for an index is not a big deal. I'm sure there are people that will really appreciate that. It's not my style, but many people it is. And then we get right into the dot grid pages, and you will notice that every page is numbered, so you don't have to number them yourself. Ooh, sorry, got all fuzzy. Come back to me. Anyway, so the pages are already numbered, and it looks to be quite nice quality paper. It's not quite bright white. It's a sort of creamier white, which is nice. I like it that way. I don't really like stark white pages. I like a little bit of color, but I don't like it to be too much. The other thing that I am noticing right now is that, I don't know how well you can see it. You can kind of see it. It's ghosting on its own. Like, one of the problems that people have with bullet journals is using their pens on the paper. You can see through it. It ghosts through to the other side. This one, there's no writing. It's just the title of the previous page, which is the index page right over here. And it's a little hard for you to see. I don't know how well you can see that, but right here, you can really see through the page already. And that's a bad sign as far as I'm concerned. If you can see through the page before you've written on it, I don't know, for me, that does not bode well. So inside there are 185 dot grid pages. That's the front and back. And then they have something that I think is really unique to this notebook, and I kind of really like it. And that is, at the very back, they have a pen test page right here. And this is the page so that you don't ruin any of your pages. You can try out your different pens to see how badly they ghost or bleed. So I'm going to do that with you right now. I'm going to actually try out some of my different pens that I use every day, and we can kind of see together. And the final page is, I don't know if the front is like that. No, the front page isn't like that, but the back, you've got another bunch of scribbles, and then you've got the pocket, which is always nice to have. You can store stickers or little mini ruler or anything that you might need to have on hand that you might otherwise have to like store somewhere else. As long as they're kind of flat and not too bulky, store them in the folder. I always like having that accordion folder in the back. So again, back to the pen test. There's a front and back page pen test. And so right now I want to go ahead and try some of these. I'm going to try some of the pens that tend to ghost a lot more. I'm going to try my fountain pen, one of my microliners, maybe some of my Staedtlers. I've got tons of artist markers, watercolor markers, and thicker kind of brush pens and things like that. So let's try them all together, and then we can see at the end how badly they bleed or ghost. So let me change the camera. Okay, so this is the page, and let's start. This is my Pilot fountain pen. It's a fine tip. This is a Pilot, well, it's from Japan, and it's a fine nib. So I'm just going to do a couple, just write like, hello. So that's my Pilot. I think I can tell. I don't need to write which pen it is. And then I've got a nice micro line here. This is a 0.45 millimeter. So this one, if this is the one, yeah. This one, I tend to get a little bit of bleed through, which is kind of annoying a lot of the time, but we'll see. So you can see it's kind of thicker and more opaque, and it tends to bleed quite a bit. Let's try, I've got these, let's see if we can see them. Dual tip artist markers, brush and fine tip, and these are Studio Series. I'm not even sure what brand these are, but let's try it. We'll just try black, and what we'll do is we'll try the brush part, and we'll just try it, just do a whoop, and that's pressing a pretty good amount, not too bad, but pressing a little bit. And this is the fine side, and we'll just do that so that we can kind of see. All right, and then, pardon me, I've got so many pens, it's kind of ridiculous. I've got my Faber-Castell pens that I've got so many, and these are the Pitt artist pens. So again, we'll just try black. This one's a, what is this one? This one is a, I'm not sure, little brush pen. So this is, we'll write Faber. That's not a very good one. What's going on there? Let's try a different one. Oh, it's because they all, this is dark indigo, so we'll write Faber-Castell. I'm really curious. I really want to open it and see if it's bled. But we'll wait until the end and we'll look at them all together and see if any of them went through. All right, what else can we use? I got, how about, pardon me. All right, these are my Tombos. This is N89. So we'll try this one. This is the wrong color. I totally grabbed white. I didn't mean to do that. I thought it was the black I was grabbing. Well, let's just go with this one. It's kind of a dark gray. And this is, all right, Tombow. And we'll do the other side as well. Tombow, little mini one. Okay, so let's try a watercolor marker. See if I can find them. Yeah. So these are my Winsor & Newton watercolor markers, and it's a dual tip as well. So we'll do, we'll say Winsor and Newton. I love these markers, I have to tell you. They're so amazing. Okay, and do that one. Okay, and then I've got a few different kinds. Well, one of these, this is my Zig calligraphy pen. I've got this in many colors. So we'll just do the nice chisel tip. We'll do, whew. These are not doing well. I haven't ever used them either. Zig. Zig only has one G, but that's okay. Okay. And then I've got a few different kinds of Sharpies here. I've got a fine tip, ultra fine tip Sharpie, a fine point Sharpie, and just another one. So let's try Sharpie. I want to kind of press on these a little bit to get a good idea. Another Sharpie. Because a lot of times if I'm writing a lot, then I tend to press harder. This one open. So let's do Sharpie. All right, now it's the moment of truth. So let's turn this around so you can kind of see. This is the various markers that we have tried and pens. And now we get to see if it actually worked. So let's turn the page. All right, ready? Oh, okay, so we do have some issues here. So the first two that we used, which is my fountain pen and my microline, those were actually fine. There's a little ghosting, but nothing major. Obviously this one, not so good. That is terrible, in fact. That was my dual tip artist markers. Both sides, they just kind of went through, and in fact they bled onto the next page as well, so that is bad. The Faber-Castells were fine, Tombows were fine, Winsor & Newton were fine, my Zigs were fine. The three different kinds of Sharpies all bled through, you can see. The fine tip less so, but I would still be unhappy to draw on the back of this. So that's really interesting. This paper, it holds some of these markers pretty well and some of these pens pretty well. So realistically, we have a pretty decent notebook here. Again, there are a few problems that I personally have with it, and that is the branding, that is the excess space taken up with the index and things like that. And obviously, like, the paper, while being good, is not by any means extraordinary. It's kind of a letdown in some ways, given that several of the markers and pens that I would use are bleeding through. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, you just need one pen if you want a bullet journal. And so my fountain pen and my microline, which are the two I use most often, actually work fine. I didn't actually try the Staedtlers. Should we try those? And I think I have a couple of Prismacolors as well. So let's really quickly try those out just to see. So this is a Prismacolor, and this, oh, and I actually have, okay, let's try a couple different ones really quickly just to add to our thing. So we'll try a Staedtler. I don't even know if that's pronounced right, but okay. All right, so that's the Staedtler. I've got a Prismacolor Premier brush tip marker here. So we're gonna try that one. So we'll do, I have a feeling this one is going to bleed. Okay, and then I've got another Prismacolor Scholar. This is a bullet tip point, and I've got these in loads of colors. So we'll do Prisma 2. All right, and then let's look at those. And actually, all of those were fine. You can still see where the Sharpies were, but underneath over here, right here, it ghosts, but it's not bleeding through. So that's good. So Staedtlers are okay, Prismacolors are okay. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Prismacolors and the Staedtlers are in my portable bullet journal system, so those are the ones that clearly I am using a lot, and as well as my fountain pen and my microline. Anything else would just be superfluous. It's something that I don't have to use. It's a nice to have, but to be fair, all of my other bullet journals, the Nuna, the Rhodia, the Moleskine, and the Look Term, none of them could take these pens either. So this one isn't any worse than any other brand, and there are a few pluses that make it even, slightly better. I really like how this is set up. It's fun. It's something that's useful, and I don't know, I think it's really cute. So I might use this for bullet journaling for my blog and social media. I have the second one over there, so I'm not sure what I'll use that for yet. Maybe I'll set up something fun, family bullet journal, so that I can keep track of my kids and our family stuff, because these kind of lend themselves to more fun rather than more professional. But we'll see. I haven't quite decided yet. Anyway, hopefully you have enjoyed this review. I will put a link to this particular notebook in the comments below or in the info box below. So do check that out if you're interested. I think I got it for $12, but I think it's normally $16, which isn't bad considering the cost of other notebooks. So do check it out. It might be just what you're looking for. It would be especially good, I think, for students and those making a study bullet journal. That's, I think, would be the core audience for this, or younger bullet journalers or kids who you want to teach. So yeah, check it out. I'm going to it's my affiliate link. So if you click on it, I may get a couple of cents if you buy it. So please do check that out. And yeah, check me out on social media. I am Hey Katie blog everywhere. And you can check out my website, which is heykatie.net. So anyway, if you like the video, do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.